Several years ago, I did a video of Petco Park on the channel that didn't have any audio, so I thought it'd be fun to go back and do a video similar to what the ones I do now that has some new photos, new video, and of course has audio as well. So today on Stadiums of the World, we'll be touring Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres. Located in downtown San Diego, near the famous gas lamp district in America's finest city, some people say it's the best ballpark in all of America. I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely one of the best ones out there. Going through my typical spiel, every photo you see today was taken by me. Don't forget you can subscribe to the channel, and you can write in the comment section what you like about this ballpark. And with that, we can start the tour. Petco Park opened up back in 2004, and currently it has a capacity of 42,445. The ballpark has a beautiful color scheme with blue seats and sandstone throughout the ballpark. The steel truss framing is also painted white, and the overall colors are supposed to be the ocean, the beach, and white sailing boats, things like that. Petco has 3 tiers of seating, like most Major League ballparks, but even though it has the 3 tiers of seating, it has an intimate feel to it. It doesn't seem really large and overbearing. There are many things about the ballpark that make it unique. One of the first things you'll notice is it has these 2 light towers that split up the upper decks, and they have luxury suites in there as well. Another unique thing about the ballpark is it has the Western Metal Supply building. This historic building is built in and incorporated into the ballpark. The building has been retrofitted, but during games you can go into the building, walk through it. You can see, though, it has a lot of its old historic charm still intact. And you may ask, why might I go in there during a baseball game other than looking at the historic structure? And a couple of reasons. One, there's a lot of bars in there, a lot of great social areas to go through and hang out when you're during, maybe even before the game. If you're waiting for the game to start, you go in there, get a drink. It's just a nice place to be. The building also has balconies that you can walk out on during the game. So if you're in there, not everybody can go out to these balconies, but it's a place if you get tickets that you can go out and hang out. Another thing about the building, if you look out across on the roof of the building, it's a place that has large gatherings. So, if you're a business or you have a large party, you can go up there and rent out the whole roof, and it's a great place to have an event up there. And this is just a better view showing that rooftop. You can see how many people are up there. They have a lot of seating around the railing. They have some umbrellas and things like that. So definitely worth going to if you can. And this is a view looking at that Metal Supply building from outside the ballpark up in the sky. And this is actually a hotel you can go to. You don't even have to go to the game. I would definitely recommend coming up to this hotel. It's a rooftop bar. It's not open all the time, but in the evening and game days, certain times, figure out when it is, go up there. It's a great view of the ballpark. And this is just a view back at the Metal Supply building. So if you're out on one of those balconies looking out, this is just what you would see, how high up you are, etc. If you look out in right field, you notice that they have this area of seating that's multi-tier, broken up into 4 different sections. That looks like it'd be intimidating, but it's actually, for how many tiers it has, it really isn't that large. And this is a close-up view of that seating, showing that even up close, it's really kind of short. So it's kind of surprising if you don't have any perspective on how large it is. You go, wow, they have large amount of seating in right field, but it's actually pretty small. Another great thing about the ballpark is it has a beautiful view of San Diego's skyline. It's right downtown. You're surrounded by buildings, and the openness of the ballpark allows you to see the beautiful skyline, especially on a nice sunny day like this. If you look out in left field, you can see that there's 2 tiers of seating. I'd say it looks similar to PNC Park in Pittsburgh, which some people say is the best ballpark in all of baseball. You can see in this photo below the video board and above that seating that they have this landing, another great place to hang out and watch the game. It's pretty common in this ballpark to have a lot of places like this. As you look around the ballpark, there's been a lot of changes made over the years, especially if you look out towards the outfield area of the ballpark. Many years ago when I first went to the ballpark, this is what it looked like. In right center field, you could just walk straight up to it. They had this large sand beach area. I really enjoyed it. It allowed me to go to the ballpark and look at it without even going to the game. You can see here the views, and you can see some of that sand down below. This is a photo of what it looks like now. They've added a lot of seating, and they have this bar area as well. They have kept a little bit of the sand, if you can see it right here in this portion of the photo. And I will say that it's still a great place to come. If you're going to the game, it's great to come down and hang out, have a drink, and even before the game, this is a good place to go beforehand. And if you're up in that area and you look down towards the field, they have this area now that's private. So the upper area, anybody can go in and walk in. It doesn't matter what seat you have. The area down below, you actually have to rent out. And this is just showing you a view that you would have if you go to that area during a game. I really enjoyed it. We had seats, but it was fun to come down here and just watch from this angle for a while. Another area that they have, you can see in this photo, is the home run deck. It's no longer called the home run deck. I think it's something like the Templeton deck now. And there's been all these changes. There's a big reason why they had all these changes. Petco is a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. It has had the least amount of home runs in baseball at some times. And so what they've done over the years is they brought a lot of the fences in. It's pretty common now that they've done it in San Francisco and a couple other places. But yeah, that's one of the driving factors of this. You bring the fence in, well, now you need to fill that area with something. So they've added these areas. An area that I think has gotten better over the years is the batter's eye. This is showing what it used to look like. If you look out in center field, you can see what the batter's eye looks like now. It's still not amazing, but at least everything's green. They have the SD logo on there, and then they have some shrubbery down below. Another great thing they've done at the batter's eye is actually on the back side of the batter's eye. They've added a concert stage, so they have concerts sometimes before or after the game that you can go check out. And they have the concerts located in the place that's called Gallagher Square. It's this whole park area just beyond the outfield. You can see here they also have a mini ballpark as well. Definitely a great area to go check out. Another great event they have at the Gallagher Square before some games is a beer fest. You can see one of the beer fests going on in this photo. And this is another photo from that beer fest. You can see here you're just right outside the ballpark, and they have all these vendors from different local areas all around and some other places too. I don't know if those two particular vendors were part of it, but they have a lot of booths like that throughout the square. Clearly, the Budweiser booth in the last photo was not local, but a lot of the other booths are. So moving on, you can see here as well, another thing of Gallagher Square is they have a lot of seating that's lawn seating. You can buy this. You don't have to buy a seat. You can actually, it's a lot cheaper to get one of these tickets. You can run around the park, or you can sit here. Not a great view of the ballpark, but it's almost like having a picnic on a nice day. You can see from this photo just how many people come out to that lawn seating during a game. And one thing to note is Gallagher Square is actually getting a $20 million renovation, so they're going to be upgrading this. Nothing too crazy, but there will be some changes coming to the area. In addition to being the home of the San Diego Padres, it also hosts a couple other events. One of the events it hosts now is the Holiday Bowl, since the Chargers Stadium is no longer a thing. Over the years, it's also hosted the World Baseball Classic, and when everything was kind of shut down, it was one of the places that hosted the playoffs. This is a view looking back at the Jerry Coleman Broadcast Center. Every ballpark has this area, but it's always kind of fun to compare, the different ballparks. And this is a view inside the broadcast area. I took a tour of the stadium many years ago, and they brought you up in this area. You actually get to check it out. Pretty common for baseball tours, but it's, again, kind of unique to compare different ballparks. This is the seating right below the broadcast area. I've always thought Petco kind of had a unique seating layout right here in this area. This is a view inside one of the clubhouses. Nothing too fancy, especially if you check out an NFL locker room. Those are over the top. I just did the Vegas, the Raiders, and that locker room was just crazy. So this clubhouse, it's cool, but nothing special. I have to show this photo. Every time I go to the ballpark, I don't know why, but I always notice this almost more than anything, but they have a little Jack in the Box on top of the right foul pole. I talked about one historic building earlier in the metal supply building. If you look out in right center field, there's another brick building that actually has a story of this ballpark. When they built this ballpark, they had to relocate this building, and that's where it's at now. It's been relocated out beyond the ballpark. I will say that one area that I think makes this ballpark better than most ballparks is, you can see it in this photo right here, the area where you walk around for fans when you're not watching the game. It's like any other, it's like no other ballpark I've seen before. I mean, this view just, it's amazing. And this is a view down below on that concourse. And if you've ever been to San Diego, there's a brewery here called Stone Brewing, and it just, the whole vibe of it just reminds me of going to that brewery. Petco Park also has a lot of great food and drink options. A lot of them are local. San Diego has a lot of great breweries. They have Cutwater Spirits that are also here. You can see that Puesto Taco. That's an absolutely great taco place. So I think, if the eating and drinking options are just phenomenal. What do you know? I was just talking about Stone Brewing, and here it is. You can see it in this photo along with Board and Brew, and these are two examples of some local options. Okay, moving on from the food and drink. Another great thing about this ballpark is the grass is natural grass. It's not artificial. You can see this sign, please keep off. And I think that's just a great thing. I mean, you would think in, 2023 or whatever, that you would have all natural grass, but it's actually more and more ballparks are moving away from natural grass. This is a photo of myself at the ballpark. Every video I like to throw in at least one photo showing, I was actually here. This brings us towards the end of our tour. Subscribe to the channel if you want me to keep doing videos. I appreciate that. Don't forget, you can write in the comments section what stadium you want me to do next. And with that, have a good day and take care.